Welcome back to another episode of Wilds and Water Sailing. This week we spent a few more days soaking our cold bones in the Bishop Bay hot springs before sailing west to explore Campania Island. Hey guys, I'm Brooke. This is Conlee, and this is our princess/adventure dog, Muoi. Together we live on board Aklet, our 38-foot tiny home on the water. Join us as we sail around the world and share with you a little bit more of this planet's wild side. It was nice to see sunshine at least once during our stay. We were able to see the mountains that surrounded us and get the drone in the air for a quick flight. The water was nearly crystal clear, and as the fresh snow melted, everything had that warming glow to it. The rest of our stay was filled with typical winter weather, which just happened to be ideal for many a long soak in the hot springs. The bay provided protection from the winter gales howling further out, and the coziness of safe snowy seclusion was a welcome feeling after the many wild and chilly miles we had made over the last couple months.
Well, Bishop Hot Springs is everything we hoped and dreamed it would be. Got here last night and went and had a tub last night, and then went for one with coffee this morning. And last night we got a beautiful sunset over the mountains. The sun was just at the perfect spot in the sky where we got it all the way down the ridge line. And and then this morning it's snowing and it's got that cozy feel. What should we have for breakfast?
We should have huevos rancheros.
Ooh, see.
I do believe.
See.
Yes.
Coffee's ready?
Coffee is
Second coffee is ready?
almost ready.
Nice. She's looking at you. Hi, Muoi. Huevos rancheros?
Huevos rancheros for me.
Yeah.
Gracias, señorita.
De nada, señor.
We had the entire place to ourselves for most of our stay and thoroughly enjoyed the opportunity to settle into this peaceful environment. There were many different species of diving ducks utilizing the bay for feeding, a few great blue herons wandering the intertidal, and even the odd mink diving into the icy water to catch small fish along the rocky shoreline. One mink even came down the dock to see who had recently moved into her neighborhood. Sometimes living on a boat can make us feel a bit like we've traveled back in time, and for some reason this spot really had that vibe. There are other ways in which living more off-grid feels like we've reverted to simpler times, such as making good old stovetop popcorn. We weren't making a lot of power during the winter with the lack of solar, so we had different methods of minimizing our power consumption. We also don't have a lot of extra room for big fancy plastic appliances, so it's just a bit of a no-brainer reverting to more old school methods. Well aware that more days of cold winter weather sailing were awaiting us just outside of Bishop Bay, the hot springs were very difficult to leave. But we had met new friends there on the dock and had decided we'd meet them at Campania Island, one of their fave spots, to work on a beach cleanup and do some exploring together. The first good weather window that presented itself only gave us a couple days to get a move on, and due to our fairly slow cruising speed, we decided we'd better take it. The weather was becoming more and more unpredictable with spring on its way, and even though the hot springs wouldn't have been the worst place to get stuck, we still had big plans of crossing the border into Alaska in April, and many more stops to make before then. After tacking in light winds out of Bishop Bay, we turned south into the Ursula Channel. We put the pole out and got set up for some nice straight downwind, wing on wing. We had good sailing weather until we neared Hartley Bay. Then outflow winds canceled out our breeze, and we decided to tuck into a nearby anchorage for supper and sleep before continuing on to Campania the following day.
Where are we going today?
We're going to Weinberg Inlet on Campania Island.
A southeast gale set to pick up early that day had us motoring out of our anchorage at daybreak. We only had about 20 nautical miles to go, but wanted to be tucked into Weinberg Inlet on Campania Island before the winds and seas had too much time to build. Conditions on the outside were already getting a bit sporty by the time we reached the inlet. Luckily, we were greeted by sunshine and calm waters as we made our way through islets and a few narrow passes to find a good spot to anchor.
We have made it to Campania Island and it's time to do some exploring.
goodness. The north end of Campania Island is a mix of rocky shoreline, spindly evergreen old-growth forest, and boggy terrain typical of the HECATE lowlands. The soft saturated ground cover is a beautiful mosaic of sphagnum moss and reindeer lichen, with low elevation wetland species such as Labrador tea, bog laurel, and common juniper. Scattered throughout are stunted, gnarled, windswept pines, cedars, and hemlocks, and under areas with more covered forest canopy, there's commonly thick salal and deer fern found throughout. Oh. Yeah. It's amazing how far the tide comes up here. Oh. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to give us a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, hit subscribe and click that bell for notifications. Join us next week as we explore more of Campania Island and meet up with friends to do a bit of a beach cleanup.